here alongside a member of the Matson family, but if you couldn't tell, it's not Sean. It's Erin, field hockey head coach over at North Carolina Chapel Hill, making her first trip to the Cape in a little while, right?
Yeah, it's good to be back though. I've been down south for a little while, but the Cape always makes me miss the Northeast.
You've been a little busy,
Yeah.
right? 4 years as a player at Chapel Hill, and now your first year as a head coach, but now a little bit of time to, relax and watch your brother do his thing.
Exactly. I watch a lot of baseball for it not to be my job, and I love it. I could spend every night at the ballpark, but it's good to see Shawnee playing. I haven't seen him in live form in a while, and there's not really a better place to see him in action.
So we were talking a little bit yesterday. You haven't been here to see Sean pitch yet. This is the second game you're seeing him in a row. But your parents, they're here a lot, and they already kind of planned out your trip a little bit.
Oh, yeah. My travel itinerary was done and dusted before I even landed in Boston and got my rental car and drove here. I put my chair down already. I know to do that. I'm hitting all the spots. I've had more lobster rolls than days I've been here, so that might be a little concerning to some people. But, yeah, going all in. My parents love it up here. We all do. So, yeah, they gave me the lowdown.
Was there a point where you're like, guys, I gotta have some fun myself here? Is this too much?
No, they let me do my thing. I will when I sit down, though. I'll text my mom and give her an update of my day because I know they are always just looking forward to hearing about it. And they're really happy Sean and I are getting some time together without them around. Obviously, it's great for all four of us to be together, but they like that. We're able to go to breakfast and hang out. We got late night food at the Lost Dog last night, so really chill times, but lots of exciting things going on.
I've been to the Lost Dog too many times to count. It's a good spot. What do you think? You mentioned this is a great chance for you and Sean to kind of just spend some sibling time together. How much is he, since you've been playing in North Carolina, coaching in Carolina, how much has he grown over these last few years? What's changed the most with Sean?
Oh, man. I think it's just been fun to see him mature as a ball player, sure, but I texted him last night and I knew he wouldn't see it until after the game, but just seeing him having fun with the guys or joking around before the anthem plays as they're jogging out to the bullpen, I think he's really found himself confidence-wise, and you can just tell when he steps on the mound here, he has that support and momentum behind him, and I think that's what allows him to do his thing. So for me, it's been amazing to see him really blossom in that sense without getting too cheesy. But yeah, he's grown, and I think you guys, Orleans, his teammates, the relationships he's built over this summer have really allowed him to do that, along with the coaching staff and everyone just being so supportive. So that warms my heart.
Wow, that's deep. What was it like? You mentioned the relationships he's built over these last 2 summers in Orleans, meeting a lot of the names that you've probably heard a lot, but finally your first game in town was the Chatham game last night. Finally meeting all of these characters for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable. It's crazy how many just really good people this league and this town brings together. So I've DM'd with Coach K, and more than I've talked to him in person, but I got to meet him last night and the rest of the staff. A couple of Sean's teammates that he tells me about and, enjoys time spending with and everything, being able to just put faces to names and see everything really unfold right in front of you. It's really special and cool, and I think it's a unique group of guys, old, young, whatever, and experienced in the Cape first year or veterans in a way. So, yeah, it's just been really cool, and he leans on those relationships a lot.
Well, it's kind of interesting because last summer he had Chris Clark with him, who ends up getting drafted in the middle of the summer, and he's the young pup, and that's the guy who's back for his second year. And now it's kind of the same situation. I don't know if you know Callan too much. Callan Feng, it's the same thing. And both of them are, well, you were from outside Philly, and Callan's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see the Harvard connections here, and his time spent at Harvard, again, building relationships with those guys, and then being able to translate that to summer ball. And do it in 2 very different environments, whether it's Chris, Callan, whoever. It's just, it's one of those things that, you hope they don't take for granted, because it's really special to be in a place like Cambridge and at Harvard and something so remarkable like that, and then also be doing it with the same guys here over the summer. Yeah, it's great.
Being a student athlete at Harvard or at Chapel Hill, these are two of the top universities in the country. What do you think is the biggest, as you were just playing at Chapel Hill a year ago, biggest challenge or biggest maybe misconception of a life of a student athlete?
Ooh. I would say the biggest challenge is figuring out the time management, and I mean especially Harvard, but UNC too, with how good our academics are, like just juggling being a student first and taking care of your business in the classroom with also being able to excel on the baseball field, field hockey pitch, whatever it is. I think that takes time and experience with it, and you're going to be a different person you are freshman year than you are as a graduating senior. So I think you just got to experiment and figure that out for yourself. Misconception? Oh, that's a hard.
Is there a cliche that you hear from non-student athletes that you're like, you don't know what you're talking about until you're in it?
Oh, I don't know. I've never thought about that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot here.
You stumped me. I know. I would say like maybe sometimes people think there's a lot of pressure and a lot of like it is very time consuming. Some of my regular student body friends always talk about how we have no time on our hands, we have no life outside of our sport, and I think that's probably the biggest misconception if you think like that, and not everybody does, but I think the team you're a part of, the bonds you make, the experiences you have on the road, traveling, the lessons you learn because you are so busy all the time and trying to be a great student athlete and a great student, at a top university, I think that all in itself is so worth it and beautiful. And there are pressures, but that's what is fun about it. And the challenges with it and everything. I think sometimes it's like, oh, your sport is your life, then you don't really have anything else. It's like, no. It's what you make of it. But I think it's really beautiful being a student athlete, and if there's time to do it, right now is it. So that would be my answer to that, probably, to your very stumping question.
Sorry. I pose a challenge to too many people. That's why nobody likes me.
We like a challenge. No, we like a challenge.
Well, you accepted the challenge of going back to North Carolina, your alma mater, and keeping the program at the level of excellence that you would. It was already great before you got there. You go win 4 straight national championships as a player, and your first year as a head coach do the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. You mentioned the student athlete feeling going out there. I know that transition. Was it hard for you at the start to be coaching when you could be like, no, this is how you do it, or wish I could be out there doing it? Was there a moment in the season where you're like, yeah, I'm good here on the sideline?
I really embraced being on the sideline from the start. I will say it was hard, not being able to have the impact as a player. Obviously, as a coach, you have an even bigger impact, but it was different when things weren't going well, or if I thought I could help before. It was just, give me the ball, I'll make you look good, or I'll score some goals, whatever. And now, obviously, I'm outside of the line. So it's just been a journey to figure out how to still make that impact. But I think I've really enjoyed that puzzle and the inability to have the ball and play and impact the game that way. But I really enjoy the giving direction or the guidance to then help someone else discover that. So it's definitely been a year of learning, we'll say. But I think that's also exciting, and every year is going to be different, and you're constantly learning and evolving, which is, it's always new and fresh in a way, while honoring tradition and history, of course, here. But we have a system that works, we don't need to change it, but how can we make it better, stay one step ahead, and do it year in and year out? So again, definitely pressure, but that's what we like. We like a challenge.
Well, everyone, especially it's more challenging when everyone in the country, knows you're targeted, and it's at that pressure all year long. I guess my last question for you on the North Carolina field hockey side of things is, because I know the story, but maybe not everybody else knows the entire story. When you graduated, what did you think was next for you? Because I know you went to the athletic director, and you know, it just kind of happened after that. You weren't entirely sure if it would happen for you, but what were the expectations versus the reality of I'm back and now I'm in charge?
Sure. Yeah, it all happened very quickly, and I knew going into my 5th year COVID season that this is what I wanted. Before that, I did not ever envision I would be coaching, because the joke was I could never do it anywhere else. I could never go put orange on and preach about a school. That wouldn't feel right to me when the Carolina Blues so it was like, that's never going to be a possibility because of Karen Shelton. And then all of a sudden it happened very quickly of like, oh, that whole joke of I could only ever do it at Carolina is now not really a joke anymore. And yeah, it transpired. And I guess towards the interview process and wrapping up of my season, I got that question a lot of like, what if this doesn't work out? Like, what are you going to do? But I never really, maybe some people agree with it, maybe some don't, but I never allowed myself to think of that, because to me, if I was doing that, I wasn't putting all of my energy and effort into what I wanted and preparing the best I could and going after it and having the conversation. So to me, it was like, look, all in, this is what I want. I'm going to make it happen. And if it doesn't happen, I believe in myself. I'll fall back on, my degree and everything I've done over the years and how I've carried myself. So I wasn't too worried. But yeah, I don't know what I would be doing if it didn't work out. I'm glad it did.
It's been working out for you. It's been working out for Sean. I mean, it doesn't hurt that both your parents were student athletes back in the day. Sean's probably going to have a big moment in roughly a month, when he tries to, put all the hard work that he's put in over the years, and hopefully it becomes a reality for him.
Right.
I know it's kind of speculative, but if he gets lucky and MLB is the future for him, maybe not when did you know that he had the mentality, the ability to take it to the next level, but what do you think that would mean, and when did you know, Sean can do this?
Yeah. I think, and again, I think it's just been how we've been raised. I don't know if it was from my parents or the upbringing of our club and travel teams or each other or a mix of everything, but we're just wired to want to continue growing and excelling and setting maybe ambitious goals, not unrealistic ones, but ambitious, and not being afraid of chasing those. So that's just who he is. That's how he carries himself, again, as a student, as an athlete. So I think it's definitely within him. We will see what happens in a month. We're also wired in a way where we're both very similar of not really thinking ahead like that, and staying very present. And if you take care of what you need to take care of today and try to get better for tomorrow, usually you're going to grow and end up in a better place. So I don't think he's really thinking about it that much. I think he's thinking about his next outing and how he can help his team and, make mom and dad proud. So I think in a month, it'll be a byproduct if it's the case. And yes, if he's fortunate enough. But I know he also, if it does happen, would turn right around and say thank you to my mom and dad, to, Kelly and everybody here and his Harvard teammates and coaching staff. That's just who he is. So it's definitely there. We all believe in him, and he's supported me my entire career, and it's been really, really fun for me to sit back and watch him do his thing and support him in that sense. And yeah, we'll just see where the next few weeks take him. And regardless of what happens, he's going to be very well off in life and very happy and successful. Yeah. I know it in my heart. So, we'll just see and be there for him no matter what.
Last question. Tonight, you mentioned watching him from afar. Now you get to see him hopefully pitch over the next couple days. Tonight, it's against Harwich. Mm-hmm. What kind of fan are you? When he gets out there, are you vocal or are you? Gosh, no. What is it?
Not vocal. He would not. I don't think. Maybe we'll test it out tonight and see what he says. I'll blame it on you. No, I'm kidding. No. But no, I'm not vocal. I just enjoy watching, and I think there's always the level of nervousness in a sense that, not that I would ever doubt his capabilities, but you just want them to succeed, anyone you care about, but at the same time, he's pretty stoic. He's pretty just consistent and solid. So that definitely radiates to me. I'm like, you know what? I can feel confident in him, and I don't need to get nervous. But more than anything, it's just enjoyable and exciting. And I'm glad that I'm here in person and that it's a home game. We'll see if it happens tonight. But, yeah, I don't know. I love him. I love what he does. Very proud of him. And it's fun, yeah, to literally just sit and internally cheer, not vocally.
Sean's closed out plenty of wins over the last 2 summers. Hopefully tonight in front of his sister Erin Matson. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.